So let's film a short little tutorial how to do this. It's pretty easy. The rear end's way easier than the back. We're gonna put these seats down, take that rear deck lid off, 3 bolts per side, 13 mil, and then the strut on the bottom only has 1 bolt that's 18 mil. Seats are down. We're gonna rip these sides out. All you gotta do is grab it, pull it away, get it out of your way. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips to start off with. So this is how easy it is to rip this out. That is it. There's no rocket science to that. So all the clips are out, as you can see. Then we got 3 8 mil bolts, 1, 2, and then 3. Mine was being stubborn, which gives it right. See that groove? Well, that sits on top of it. So go ahead and take that off. All it is pop out. I'll show you how to do it right here. Get it underneath the gasket. Put your fingers up. 1 clip, 2 clips, and pull out. Don't break that. So pull out this way. And now, in theory, this is loose. So we're gonna take this out. So all I did is pull this deck lid out like this, let it go down this way. There is 3 wires, speaker, rear shade if you have it, I think we all do, and another speaker. That is it. They just pull out. There's no tabs. So we're only taking the side seat belts off. 2 10 mil bolts in the front, 1 T50 in the back. The 10 mils are right here. The T50 is sideways like here. And that's all. We're doing that just to expose the strut tower bolts. So the middle one can stay, don't bother with it. That one has to come off as well for that strut tower. Alright, I'm not going to be unplugging the seat belts. I don't want to clear the codes, which I can, but screw that. So what I did is I tucked them. You see this carpet? They're nice and snug there. They won't fall. It's not tight. That's good. I unplugged, took this clip out. I took that clip out just to give us lift room to get the socket in there. Same thing with the other side. Seatbelt is tucked right there. Does not have to be unplugged. I also undid the last clip right there, back there. I tucked this that way underneath the wires, and now look at that. Everything is exposed. We have room for everything. Move the wire. Look at that, completely. 1, 2, 3. Those are the 3 bolts, 13 mil. We got it unscrewed right now. So it's actually 3 nuts, not bolts. All undone. And I was able to actually use my drill. There's lots of room. Easy peasy. Once you undo all 6 bolts, 3 per tower, you're done inside. Time to jack the car up and take the wheels off. Something to consider is make sure it's a low pro jack, because you're lowering it. So if you get a regular one and you barely fit in it, but you lifted the car, then you put it back down, well, that's going to be stuck. So this is the stock height, OEM, 21-inch wheel with 30 profile. Yep, 30 right there. This is how it looks like. I'm assuming we're going to be about here when we're done. Guess we'll see. Next step, take all the 10 mil nuts and 8 mil screws. So these 2 are different. So don't forget that these 3, I think, are longer. They look different, you'll see. But there's a million plastic 10 mil nuts. Take that off. And now you're gonna pull it down and fold it in both tabs together, and drop it. This is how it looks like without that shield. Alright, now next step before we unscrew the 18mm bolt is we're gonna unplug that and take that clip off the hat so when it drops it doesn't pull the wires. But here's the 18mm bolt. You gotta take that out and this sucker will drop. Alright, so it is a pull tab. You pull that gray pin out first a tiny bit, press it down and pull it out. That's it. Alright, 18mm. Can't be too big. It's a very long bolt. Unscrewed, it comes out. The strut stays on there. I believe there's a little male part it sits on. But as soon as you knock this that way, it'll fall. Alright, we are out. So remember how this goes. This pops out. This pops out. And then we're good to go. Let's unscrew this. Alright, so this is how it goes. This 2-wire prong. And it literally just pops out. First we compress the spring. I already broke this loose. What you're going to need is a 12-point 18mm socket that's open, and then you need a 10mm socket on top of that. Go. Alright, 18mm on the big one, 10mm on the short one. You're just holding the 10mm while the 18mm actually nut unscrews. Once the nut is off, this just slides out. Voila. Now decompress these, take the spring off, and let's get the new one. This step is if you have the KW H.A.S. You gotta take that off. Take that off first. Hammer that off. Alright, factory sleeve is off. KW sleeve is on. I did do the 70mm mark. I mean, it's gonna stop, and that's how you know it's there, but I guess that is just to make sure that you're all the way down. So yes, the numbers will be upside down. First purple part is down, the adjustable, that's where the wrench goes. These numbers are actually face up. And then the yellow spring, and then that's on top. Caliper spring is down. This one has a short lip and a taller lip. The short lip goes to the small spring, and then the taller lip is for the big spring. Just helping you guys out. So factory stopper plug goes on first, hammer that down, then put that spring on. Next we're going to be installing the dust sleeve before the top hat. There you go. So your stuff should look something like that. There you go. Very, very nice. Alright, top hat is on, just not bolted on. I did not mark, a line here and a line here to make sure it's aligned, so I'm going to tighten it back up and then spin the hat until it's perfect in the car. But it's easier if you just mark a line here and on the strut. That way you know it's going to go into the car perfectly. Alright, that nut is back in. Make sure your new spring aligns with the stopper edge. That's how it should look like. And this is a complete rear end M5 F90 KW H.A.S. Wow, that's a lot of things to say. There you go. Now we put back in the car. I'm kidding, we forgot the sensor. So we're gonna get the sensor, put it back exactly how we took it off. Right, and that. Like that. Pop that back in, pop that back in, and that's it. The sensor only goes one way in or two ways, so make sure it's the proper way. Has a lot of teeth, you'll see. Pop that back in, you'll feel it secured. This go back in the groove. Now we're ready for the car. Alright, this side's in. I'm going to show you how I did this. So you put the top in first like this, and then back into the crack down. Then you watch up there for the bolts. So remember, that plug is all straight out. That angles like this for the plug. That rib you see is for the wire grabber right there, clip. Okay, the bottom, the strut has a little male part on it. So if you have someone to step on this, lower the suspension down, or if you're strong enough, push it down while you are here compressing the shock. Then you can do it by hand. Compressing the shock. Once you click it in, you don't need the bolt. It will stay. That's it. Get the bolt, thread it in like I did, and now you can go on top with the 13 mils in bolts, and then this is an 18 mil bolt. Tighten that up, plug it back in, and we can put the side all back together. Alright, so before we put the wheel on, I'm going to put the adjustment halfway. The front is bottomed out, and that's, ask anybody that has this kit, it has to be bottomed out. It sucks, but that's all you get. The back is actually adjustable, so I'm going to put it halfway, see where that is. Alright, we're done. This is halfway lowered. It can go more. I think it's going to settle a little bit more after I drive. That's the stance. Front is all the way slammed. The back is halfway. So we still got half adjustments we can do. This is 13 notches. We got about, I don't know, 15 more notches we can go to fully tap out. What do you guys think? Was it worth it? This side looks a little bit lower. Maybe I'm just tripping. Yep, we're done.